The rain hammered the Brooklyn pavement like 1,000 unspoken regrets, turning the narrow street outside Alex's loft into a slick mirror of the city that never slept. But inside, in the dim flicker of a single lamp, Alex Harper, 28, high school history teacher, the guy who could quote Lincoln's Gettysburg Address but stumbled over his own heartbeat, stared at the man across from him. Jordan Reyes, same age, freelance photographer, the one with the laugh that cut through New York's chaos like sunlight on the Hudson. They'd been like this for hours, beers half empty on the scarred coffee table, the faint hoppy scent mingling with the earthy petrichor seeping through the cracked window. Friends. Best friends. For 8 years. Since that sticky freshman orientation at NYU. When Jordan's camera flash had caught Alex mid-laugh, freezing a moment neither knew would haunt them. And then it happened. Not with thunder. Not with some grand orchestral swell like in those Netflix dramas they binged on lazy Sundays. It was quieter, sharper, a slip. Jordan leaned forward to snag the remote, his knee brushing Alex's thigh under the table. The contact lingered a beat too long, denim whispering against denim, and Alex's breath hitched. A ragged sound that echoed in the sudden silence. Jordan froze. Their eyes met, and in that suspended second, the air thickened, heavy with the weight of every almost glance, every late-night text at 2 a.m., every time Alex had watched Jordan flirt with strangers at dive bars and felt his chest twist like a knife in fog. Jordan pulled back first, but not far enough. His hand, calloused from years gripping lenses, warm from the bottle, grazed Alex's wrist. "Hey," Jordan murmured, voice low and gravelly, like the rumble of the F train below. But his thumb didn't move away. It traced a slow circle, deliberate now, and Alex's pulse thundered in his ears, drowning out the storm. He should laugh it off. Call it the booze. But the words stuck, lodged like gravel in his throat. Instead, he surged forward, closing the gap, his lips crashing into Jordan's with the desperation of a man who'd been starving for years. The kiss tasted like IPA and salt, tears, sweat, and it broke something open in Alex. A dam he'd built brick by careful brick. Jordan's fingers tangled in his hair, pulling him closer, a groan escaping deep from his chest, vibrating against Alex's mouth. It was messy, urgent. Hands fumbling over shirts, breaths mingling in hot gasps. The world narrowed to this, the scrape of stubble, the faint citrus of Jordan's cologne cutting through the rain's damp chill. The way Jordan's body fit against his like a puzzle piece Alex had always known was missing but never dared name. They broke apart, chest heaving, foreheads pressed together. Rain pattered against the glass like hesitant applause. "Fuck," Jordan whispered. His dark eyes, framed by lashes Alex had memorized in stolen moments, searching Alex's face. Fear flickered there, raw and real, the kind that came from growing up in a Queens household where tough it out meant burying anything soft. Jordan, son of a retired cop, the golden boy who'd chased light through every shadowed alley with his Nikon, but who'd never chased this. Never chased the way his gaze lingered on Alex's mouth during their runs along the East River. Or how he'd cancel dates just to crash on Alex's couch. Their legs tangled under a threadbare quilt. Alex swallowed hard, the taste of Jordan's still on his lips. Sweet and forbidden. "We've been dancing around this since. Since that stupid road trip to the Finger Lakes." His voice cracked, a whisper hiss in the loft's hush. He remembered it vivid as yesterday, summer heat thick as honey. The Impala's AC busted, windows down and wind whipping their hair. Jordan behind the wheel, singing off-key to Springsteen, one hand on the stick shift, the other brushing Alex's knee, by accident, every curve. They'd parked at a lakeside overlook at dusk, fireflies blinking like Morse code secrets, and Jordan had turned. "You're the only one who gets it?" "All of it." Alex had nodded, throat tight, pretending the ache in his gut was just hunger. But it wasn't. It was this, the line they'd towed for years, blurry as a faded Polaroid. That line was ash. Jordan's hand cupped Alex's jaw, thumb stroking the faint scar from a childhood by crash, a touch so tender it ached. I thought, if I said it, I'd lose you. His words hung, fragile as the steam rising from their forgotten mugs. Thunder grumbled, low and distant, mirroring the storm in Alex's chest. Lose him? The thought clawed, nights alone in this loft. Grading papers under the hum of fluorescent light. The bed too big and cold without Jordan snoring down the hall when he'd crash after a shoot. Mornings at the corner deli, grabbing bagels and trading barbs over locks. Jordan's knee bumping his under the Formica table, electric and ignored. Christmases in Alex's family's cramped Astoria row house. Jordan charming his mom with stories of capturing sunsets over the Williamsburg Bridge, while Alex stole glances, heart pounding like a war drum. But fear wasn't just theirs. It was the world outside this rain-lashed bubble, New York's pulse. Sure. With its pride flags snapping in the wind and rainbow-crossed crosswalks, but laced with the old poisons. Whispers in the teacher's lounge when Alex mentioned Jordan too fondly, "That your roommate again?" Jordan's gigs drying up when clients caught wind of rumors. The freelance grind turning brutal. And deeper, the ghosts, Alex's first crush in high school. Crushed under his dad's Bible-thump disapproval, Jordan's ex. The one who'd bolted after one too many just friends nights. Calling him a tease in a voicemail that still burned. "I can't lose you either," Alex admitted, voice breaking on the edge of a sob. He leaned in again, slower this time, lips brushing Jordan's like a question. The answer came in Jordan's sigh, deep, buttering, releasing years of held breath, and the way he kissed back. Soft at first, then fierce. Hands mapping Alex's back like he was committing every ridge to memory. They tumbled to the rug, a tangle of limbs and laughter edged with tears, the storm outside fading to a steady drum. Jordan's shirt hit the floor with a whisper-soft thud, revealing the constellation of freckles Alex had traced in his mind 1,000 times. Skin on skin, warm and alive, breaths sinking in ragged harmony. No rush, no script, just the creak of floorboards, the distant wail of a siren, the salt of sweat on tongues. Dawn crept in slow, painting the loft in hesitant gold. They lay spent, sheets twisted around them like promises, Jordan's head on Alex's chest, heartbeat a steady thrum under his ear. The rain had eased to a drizzle, tapping Morse code on the sill, "Stay." Alex traced lazy circles on Jordan's shoulder, inhaling the mingled scents, musk and rain and home. "What now?" he murmured, voice thick with the vulnerability of first light. Jordan lifted his head, eyes clear, no shadows left. A small smile tugged his lips, the one that always made Alex's world tilt. "Now, we figure it out. Together. No more lines." He pressed a kiss to Alex's collarbone, lingering, as if sealing it. Said, the city stirred, horns blaring, vendors calling, life unspooling in its messy, vibrant reel. But here, in this sliver of morning, they weren't just survivors of a slip. They were architects of something new, unapologetic and fierce. built on the bones of friendship that had weathered worse than rain. Alex pulled him closer, the weight of Jordan's body a anchor against the pull of doubt. For the first time in years, the future didn't loom like a storm cloud. It shimmered, possible. And in that quiet bloom, with the sun breaking full over the skyline, Alex knew crossing the line hadn't ended them. It had just begun the real story.